Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Through this video, you can note down the question and answers of Class 6 History Lesson 2 from gathering to growing food. So we are starting with certain important points which can be asked as questions also and one markers like MCQs, fill-ups, etc. as well. So the ninth point, it is important. Fifth point is important. Fifth point on cattle hire and ninth point on Bhetka, Hangsi and Kunul. Okay, now let's begin with question 1. Why do people who grow crops have to stay in the same place for a long time? So of course, people who are growing crops, they have to stay because crops require time to grow. Their nurturing has to be done. If people will go somewhere, crops will fail or they might fail. Second question, why did the hunter-gatherers travel from place to place? And it is an important question usually asked. So they of course traveled in search of food and water, in search of prey, and in search of plants and fruits, vegetable, etc. Today people are traveling for various things like education, job, adventure, etc. How did man become a farmer? How did man started growing food? So gradually, it is possible that man or any human being might have observed that seeds, when we put into the soil, they sprout, they grow into a new plants, and wherever the seeds fall, new plants come up. So then uh, they might have cooked certain varieties of plants or fruits they found. So gradually they got to know which crops are important, which are edible, and then they started growing food. How did man become a herder? So men would have observed that some animals are gentle, they can be tamed. That means they you can control them. And herding means of course controlling the animals, keeping them for the purpose of their skin, meat, milk, etc. So these animals also lived in herds like sheep, goat, they ate grass. So gradually, when man found out what are these animals useful for, so human beings started protecting them from other wild animals and they became herders. And they started keeping these animals for the purpose of their products. And then fifth question, how was the life of farmers and herders different from that of hunters and gatherers? So farmers and herders, they led a settled life, they grew crops, they lived in huts, whereas hunters and gatherers had to move from place to place because for hunting, they have to move. Animals do not live at the same place. And since they were moving, they had to live in caves, they did not have settled houses. Then sixth question, what were the ways in which grains were used? So grains were used as a seed, as a gift, as food, as a store for food, and they were stored for food. Then what were the uses of animals? So animals were an important source of food, meat. They were even used for transporting goods. People also used them for moving from one place to another, like people used horses. What are the various features and characteristics of a tribe? So usually uh, people when they start living in a group and they follow same kind of activity, have same kind of lifestyle, so they start calling themselves a tribe. So they followed occupations such as hunting, gathering, farming. Women mostly did agricultural work. Men looked after animals. Some men were regarded as leaders, and experienced men and women were respected. They were consulted in various things, and every tribe had their unique tradition of language, music, etc. And all resources were the wealth of the tribe. That means all resources that were found in jungle were the wealth of the tribe. Then last question, explain the reasons for the belief that people of Mehrgarh were hunters who later became herders. So Mehrgarh was actually a site which was excavated. It was one of the earliest villages to be excavated. And when excavation was done, that means when the digging was done, lower levels showed presence of some wild animals. Later on, when the digging was done, presence of cattle was also found. So archaeological hence findings prove that people turned from herders to hunters. Sorry, they became from they were earlier hunters and they later became herders. Now there's map work. So I have written some possible uh, things, places that are asked in map work and how they are asked. So what you can do is there's a video that I've uploaded on map work of class 6. So you can visit, you can click on that video. It is given in the playlists. And I will be attaching a card related to it within this video as well. So you can click on that and you can complete the map work as well. And there's an activity for you. Santhal group is a tribe, is the largest tribal community of India. So paste pictures related to them, write a little bit about their religion and language, write it on a pastel sheet and paste it in your notebook. Thank you so much.